CGL Masters playoff weeks 3 and 4 are officially in the books, and there was some crazy stuff going on in these matches, so let's dive in. But I have to say, sorry for the long ass wait. I low-key was busy or didn't want to do the script. Grand Finals next week, hopefully. Our first game to look at was Cosmic vs Dire Triggers, and off the rip, we get a pulse of the week from Deadeye. Thankfully for Strider, the janitor did his rounds this week, and Deadeye tripped as he was pulsing, and only the floor was damaged during this interaction. Dire Triggers were not happy about this and tried to hunt down Cosmic Eclipse one by one, but White Rain is way too clutch with it and arrives on 1 HP with reinforcements, and Cosmic takes the first round. For the second round, it's the pure JML show. I mean, this guy just robbed Cosmic at gunpoint and took everything they had, including the Genji Blade. The third round, Mirage told JML to take a step back and let them handle everything with a mean 3k, and then it was Ghosty's turn to fire at Cosmic, and at the end of third, they took down 2 to put the nail in map 1's coffin. For map 2, we get a certain 2-step man on Lucio, and with that, Cosmic started off this map amazing, with a very early cap for first, and with Deadeye still tripping over his own shoelaces, pulse bombing the door frames, and Mirage dying to a frame perfect bubble drop to die to bomb. You would have thought Cosmic capped second, but wrong, because JML wakes up and locks in on the Ash. Not only this, but Deadeye finds 2 on the pulse bomb, which really would have been just 1 victim, as Strider didn't tell White Rain that he had free candy to give out, and GCP right on over to be greeted by a bomb instead. To end the Cosmic's attack, Vert only manages to get beat on 2 of them, because the team had already perished around him. On the Cosmic defense, they low-key kinda got shoved into a locker with Dire Triggers taking 0 prisoners. And with Alleycat using bomb not to remake, you would have thought they gave up, but when they actually used it for it was a greater plan. 2-man Poké Bomb. God only knows how this hit, but maybe he didn't even know it hit. But it all didn't matter, as Deadeye is still him, and Dire Triggers win map 2. On map 3, we get the same story as the last 2, with Cosmic popping off the cap first, and Cosmic didn't lay off the gas here. For these first 2 points, even with JML coming in with this clutch ass 4K to help flip point in their favor. I mean, this guy pulled up with the ferocity and swiftness like he's De'Aaron Foss on a fast break. After this flip of a point, Cosmic have to rush to get back to point, so Kong turns on the gas to get the last touch, and Cosmic eventually flipped to win point. But once again, with the 2-0 lead, Cosmic somehow fumble this bag, even with Pickle throwing a spear and the washing machine at Mirage, giving him a premium crocodile dinner. Dire knocked out Cosmic as we move on to game 2. Our second game is UTD versus UIE, and this was a match of all time for sure. The first map was honestly just a pure UG on Mojito beatdown. Webs had a UTD quaking at any mention of archery with the way he was playing Hanzo in these first 2 rounds. Now that we have the great beatdown in 2026 out of the way, we got onto a map with a little more competition. To start off this map, we have Foxy gambling with Zen out of spawn and eventually strikes a flush with the Deltan. But this does not stop UTD from what dark magic hold they have on UTD. I swear, you would think that second point is just a 10,000 point door in COD Zombies because UI cannot farm enough points to get in, even with Webs trying to work 3 different farms just to try and buy the door and get a hit off the box as well. But what really pushed UIE over the line was this nasty fucking rock from Cloud, cancelling Colonel Standard's ult and finally pushing past. But even after that, UIE get held again! And to finish the UIE attack, Wildcard gives him a blade to remember them by and drops his 3k for the audience. To switch the place, UTD make a quick offense on first, especially with Colonel Sanders finding 0 targets besides Sig's shield, but still getting 2 kills anyways. Now, not everything went perfectly, especially with Sobel caught up in Flux saving his rock for Overwatch 3. Maybe that rock was a very special one to him and he would rather die with it in his pocket. But soon after this, UTD do end up taking this map, especially after Wildcard uses her blade in a way of self-defense against Cloud's wicked ways. For map 3, UI take us to Suravasa, where we get an accurate reenactment of Deer in Headlight by Sawale, as he just face checks a window, and dies for it. And this isn't the only case of misfortune for UTD. Cloud Lemon hits his fat grab where Webs split beat with his wall. You would think this would leave UTD cooked more than well done. But you would actually be quite wrong. UTD pull a cockroach moment and live through it all, and actually win the first point in this fight. But clearly some damage was done in the beat engage, because on second point, Wildcard TPs into the enemy backline to try and get maybe a Blossom, but gets cold feet and races out there but dies to the window that UI used to hate crime the opponents. And the rest of this point, and the entirety of the next point, really isn't much talking about besides the Sue Wheel touch. This guy's skates might be on the slow setting always because the wall riding was iffy to say the least. But the fourth point, UI set eyes on stopping the UTD rotation, and Cloud throws his grab at all 5. But there must be something wrong with the setting because UIE could not kill anything in the graph. About midway through this point, Vira wants to noon and gives Cloud an opening to get to point as a noon and get presidential type of care. A window in a mortality field and amp. I mean, I don't think the president has security measures like this during a speech in public. But this gamble ultimately works and they get their 1 kill and later on to secure the map. Cloud finally connects on the grab where UI actually kills things. Yes! Thank you! Thank you! But for map 4, I had a lot to talk about when I searched for clips. But it turns out I'm just chutting it out and I forgot to record anything. But even so, about halfway through the map, when we took a tech pause, the production accidentally brought everyone back to lobby and they had to restart and the codes got wrong. It went all bad, but what you need to know is UTD won this map. And now we got to map 5. Surely this game is epic and cinematic. Oh, they already capped. Okay. Yeah, map 5 was kind of a snoozer. Sorry, folks. For our next match, we head back up to the upper bracket with Aura Fury versus SPC. And this means we get to watch the Wicked now. But even with this name change, this is still the same Aura Fury we know, where they start out hot as hell, even with Blank making this cartoonish ass outline of Hippie and missing legit everything. Aura Fury continues pressure on the SPC, and with pressure, we create diamonds like Wicked, where in a fight where it may have looked like SPC might have actually won, Wicked still finds 2 to turn this fight around and give a round win to Aura Fury. This 100-0 is clearly disgruntled Husky in some sort of way, because this guy locks Widow for the one time and gets an opening pick to help win this first fight. The Aura Mafia was not happy about this and told Husky they wanted to talk in a dark alley. Little did they know, they were actually about to get jumped and getting all their munch stolen. But surprisingly, SPC still win this point to make it to point 3, where Blank puts feed into the word kill feed because he's TP's in with 0 guard for his life. The Blank play might have ruined ACS because in the very next play, he just marches into SPC with 0 guard for his life now. SPC must have unlocked the hypnotic chum bucket helmets in SpongeBob where ACS just marches into 5. But things get worse for Aura Fury because when the Wicked decides it's his time to turn this bus around, Headrummer lashes his ass back in with an ult, and Wicked perishes in this ulting state. And for one last misfortune for the road, Aura Fury get one last touch with the ball to try and live, and ACS was caught blowing a .19 because they crashed the ball far off point in C9. For map 2, so maybe I messed up and forgot to record the rest of the maps. That is my fault, family. For our next matchup, I thought we were going to have a certified banger, but we had more 3-0 garbage from the Dire Triggers versus UIE family. There was one thing I want to highlight for this series that really just sums it all up: the Mirage walk. Now I'll show you what I mean here. Mirage gets marked out on the walkout and still decides to march forward, but the rest of his team low-key ain't fucking with that idea and much and leaves him naked and afraid. Maybe just a simple miscommunication. And hey, we even got lane out. But the second time, there is no excuse for it. For this one, Mirage walks out into the open, right past Cloud. He tried to ignore Cloud and sees that there's better places to walk. That's if he had infinite health. Those 2 plays summarize this entire series. I'm not joking. So I'll move on to the final match I'll be covering, being the UIE versus Aura Fury. And once again, to start out the series, we have more Pharah Mercy bullshit in the big 2-6. But I respect it so much, especially with the current meta right now. But while this is happening, End is down in the trenches with the likes of Frogger and Lige gone by booping Ascend off the map and into the abyss. But back to this Blank Pharah, because in this small ass room, Blank pulls through with a Doflamingo ass grin on his face, seeing 2 targets to Mirage. But this isn't the end of their rampage. Far from it, actually. The next play, right after flexing his big muscles for the audience, Blank puts his hands back onto the keyboard and spots and run behind cover before it's too late, because Water Willie becomes an unfortunate accidental boop kill off the map, and N tries to find cover and cowers behind a small ramp in the spawn, but it isn't enough to hide from Blank. After this incident, UIE locked the fuck in, and we come into last fight territory where Wicked wants to take a decisive angle from behind an enemy, and he slipped on his shoes and fails the NBA Combine. The next round doesn't really entail anything interesting besides Vero popping protocol at 60 HP. I don't know if Slow E it was playing in the background or what, but him. For map 2, we started this map off hot with a live action Looney Tunes chase from Blank. This guy pops Rally, charges straight at Lemon where he flies off with the shield break, and that's when Blank decides to take out his anger on the backline. Tries to kill them both in this small ass hallway, but is eventually laid to rest. But Aura still struggled to find a way to cap this point until White Boy Gooshway steps up to the plate and hits 2 dingers with this primal. The Red Sox need a guy who bats this well, so sign him immediately. But even with Gooshway and Aura Fury's side, N is still too powerful to take down, and Full holds Aura Fury. This spelled doom for Aura Fury, and Wubbs brought the period and shoved it inside Arizen's skull. For map 3, we go to Havana, where nothing too crazy highlight-wise happened, but there is one big lowlight here. Steve-O, we need to talk about this, because you just outmatched the Sand on the drunk scale, because this guy was slept, woke up, and shot the high nooning right in front of him for a solid 3 seconds, tries to grapple away, but was shot dead in the streets of Havana before escaping. And map 4, this is what we call the Steve-O map, because this is where Steve-O's luck really turns around. About midway through first point, Steve-O hits this big ass flux to get 4 kills, and it's just all over my screen. But after that, bro might have fused with Sigma because I think they're hearing things, because what are you rocking, my dude? There is nothing there for you to rock. No Sombras are on the board right now. But these two teams battle it back and forth, tooth and nail till point 5, where we are left with Steve-O getting solo grabbed on point 5 and his Joy and Whimsy skill on ball. And without a further ado, this is where this week's video ends. Sorry for the strangely long delay and the mishaps I had in recording. I hate scripts, and I swear I'm going to make the grand finals video soon. Hopefully it's next Tuesday. I'll see y'all later.